Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome back to another speed build video. This is, as you'll notice, not a video where I'm starting from scratch. It's actually a renovation of a EA build. It's the PARKSHORE house in Willow Creek, so it is a base game renovation. And I renovated the entire build with only base game items. So if you only have base game, this house will fit nicely into your build. I also tried, I think the original lot value is 107,000 simoleons and a little bit of change. And so I tried my best to stay within that budget. It actually came in at, I think, 117,000 and something simoleons. But that's because there are a couple of expensive paintings in this house, and there is the canvases against the wall, leaning against the wall decoration. That's, I know for a fact, $3,000. So if you wanted the build to go back to what the original lot value is, then you could take some of those things out. Anywho, why did I renovate this build? One, because I wanted to, and two, because I'm going to renovate all the builds. Why? Because I'm going to make my own save. I actually started a while ago, but I just didn't tell you. And so it's been a secret, kind of. I just haven't had enough time for it to even matter that I was doing it. But anywho, so I wanted to start with a bigger build, and I didn't really want to start with the Goth house because they have such a defined style, and I want to do them justice. So this was kind of my practice renovation, if you will, on a bigger build. This house originally had 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. When I was done with it, it has 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, but there's space in the house if you want a 3rd bathroom that you could throw one in. And I looked at the description of what this house is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be a spacious, I think, traditional home with lots of balconies. But there weren't that many balconies, so I added another big one off of the master bedroom, and I adjusted some of the existing balconies. I also got rid of the hexagonal rooms because, one, they were a pain to roof, and two, I just didn't like the room shape. The overall layout of the house, I think the first floor ends up being fairly similar. The second floor is quite a bit different, and the main thing I wanted to fix with this house was that it was very dark and very beige, and I was like, well, how about we go for a more contemporary vibe and lighter, brighter, fun kind of thing. I also didn't, you'll notice when we get into the furnishing of the house, I didn't do a ton of cluttering, and that had a lot to do with budget, but it also had to do with the fact that I still wanted this to be a house that your Sims kind of worked up toward, and not so much a themed house like a lot of the other houses I build, because I didn't want this house to have its pre-existing story, if that makes sense. So, I'll build a thing and I'll be like, I imagine this kind of person living in this house, blah, 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 blah. But I still wanted this house to be a house in the game that your Sims try to work up to 107,000 simoleons for, and then they move out of whatever little crick cabana they're living in already. And so I furnished it functionally and effectively, and tried my best not to give the rooms too much personality. There is kind of a kid/teen boy room that I add that is probably the most personalized room in the entire house, but other than that, it's kind of it's ready for you to make it your own, but it's also cute and fully furnished, including spaces for skill building and activities. I ended up so originally this had a teeny tiny kitchen. I made a bigger kitchen and a smaller dining room, so I swapped those around. And then I had this big empty living room and then just a chess set. And so I cut the living room into the living room's like 2/3 the size it was originally, and then there is an office now, and the office has a chessboard, but it also has office space. So there's a computer in this house, which is also part of the more expensive bits. And then there are fireplaces in this house, which there weren't before. There's a small room on the first floor that is the 5th bedroom, but I didn't furnish it as a bedroom. I furnished it as like an art studio. But if you need 5 bedrooms if your Sims have 5 children, if you have 2 Sims that have 5 children or whatever your household situation is, then you can have a 5th bedroom. Just clear out the art supplies, I guess. I also gave this house a pool because pools are pretty cool. And there aren't any, I don't think, EA builds, like you open up the game, the builds already exist that have pools. I could be mistaken. I mean, in the city in San Myshuno, there are places that have pools that are like venues, like gyms and clubs that have pools and stuff. But I don't think there are any houses that have pools. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And so I gave this house a pool because I'm like, this is a house with 5 bedrooms, and you're going to tell me they didn't build a pool? Crazy. No. So I ended up replacing that seating area that was outside the back of the house with a pool area. And I also changed up the landscaping. The landscaping was, there was more landscaping in the original build, but I wanted to clean it up a bit. It looked kind of like it had a pattern. So it was clearly like intentionally landscaped, but it also looked kind of weedy, like it was overgrown looking. I don't know. And so I wanted to take care of that and just kind of, it looks a little more sparse, but it's meant to. I don't know. Yeah, I think it came out really cool. And also you'll notice when at the end of the video, which is a little bit away, when it gets to the screenshots, what I did was I did a screenshot of the original build, and they'll be labeled before and after, and then it'll show you the after instead of like a bunch of screenshots of before, or even doing a tour of the original house and then showing you what it was after. And then another thing, a huge chunk of this video is missing. What? Yeah, I know. I spent 3 hours renovating this house, which is crazy. And because I didn't start from scratch, the building existed, and then I just revised it, I guess. So 3 hours was a long time for that. And what happened is the thing I used to record the game records in 1 hour segments. And so as I was approaching the end of the 3rd hour, my computer ran out of space and I did not notice. And so when it does that, the software does not save the bit of the clip that it had room for. It just dishes the whole thing. And so an hour of the video is missing, and you'll notice at the end of the speed build part that it cuts off a little bit. It cuts off like while I'm working on a bedroom, and that's why. But there are screenshots of the entire house at the end, and also this house will of course be on the gallery, so you can download it and explore it yourself. I ended up furnishing this house as a family home, which I don't normally do. I usually just kind of do it like neutral, whoever lives here, whatever. More, I don't want to say more adult, but less directly furnished for children if they're going to be children in the house. And this one has two children's bedrooms. One is that kid/teen boy bedroom I talked about, and then there is a kind of neutral nursery type thing, but not the neutral nursery speed build room build that I did in the past. It's a different nursery I built from scratch. The master bedroom is a little bit bigger, I think. It also has a fireplace in it now. And then the other bedroom, because there were still 4 bedrooms upstairs like I have now, but one of them was like an adult bedroom, and there was like a girl's bedroom and a toddler bedroom. And what I did with the space that was the girl's bedroom, I turned it into what I imagine is a guest room. It's not super decorated, it's not super furnished, but it's just like neat looking. And I also only put window coverings on the 1st floor. Why? Because I don't know, there are a lot of windows in this house, and there's a lot of balconies. And I imagine like if you have a lot of balconies and a lot of windows, you're going for an airy open vibe, and a lot of window coverings aren't going to accomplish that. So they're mostly upstairs and mostly in the bedrooms. My favorite part of this house is, honestly, I really like the living room, but I like how the kitchen came out. And I also like how the house reshaped without the hexagonal rooms, because that tower thing was weird, especially on the 2nd floor where that was a bedroom. But the bedroom directly next to that bedroom cut into the hexagon, so there was this weird corner that EA had kind of like shoved a nightstand in. I was like, what are you guys doing? And I also rearranged some of the doors for the balconies. Like there are weird things going on. And I also really like that now there is a balcony coming off of the master bedroom, because the bedroom right here that you can see off the right side of the house it was the teen girl, or like I guess just the girl's bedroom, and the original build had a balcony, but the master bedroom didn't. And now it's the guest bedroom that has the balcony, the little balcony. But still, you can't have a random bedroom with a balcony and not give your master bedroom a balcony. That's just, if you bought a house and you're like, and this is the master bedroom, and then here's that other room off to the side that unless like you have a roommate or something you're not going to use, you're going to be like, why does the roommate get a balcony when I bought the house? And like, it's the biggest room. It deserves the most stuff, obviously. Both bathrooms are full bathrooms, so it's not like a bathroom and a half. I made sure it was 2 full bathrooms because I cut out a bathroom. But you'll notice the hallway in front of the master bedroom it goes past that door. It's a little longer than it needs to be, so there's kind of some empty space there that's not necessary. And so if you wanted to add a small half bath right in there and connect it to the guest bedroom, bada bing, bada boom, third bedroom or third bathroom. But I kind of like the hallway. I don't build a lot of hallways in The Sims because I always feel like I need to make them super wide just because of the way they look when you play with them when they're narrow. But in real life, I guess it'd be a 1 or 2, like if you converted your house into a Sims build and you have a hallway, it'd probably only be 1 or 2 blocks wide. So I don't know why it bothers me so much in The Sims not to have it like 3 blocks wide, which is kind of atrocious. I think the living room came out really nice too. The living room in the original house was very beige, so beige and so dark. And I really wanted to throw a fireplace in here first of all because it just kind of looks like a kind of house that would have a fireplace. And I think the 2 fireplaces are part of what drove the price of the lot up because I didn't do anything crazy expensive. Like, a pool cost 3,000 or the size pool I did cost 3,000 simoleons. But it's not that big of a pool. And it's also not that big of a deal. Oh, that's another thing. There were originally on, I think just the front balcony actually, there was outdoor furniture and I just decided not to put it in there. Because if your Sims want outdoor furniture, they can throw it in themselves. And then also for the lot value aspect, I haven't play tested this house, but I don't think there's anything in here that could conflict with your Sims living out their lives. I really want to play in this house now, though. This house, I've never played in this version or the original version. And rebuilding it like as I created it, even though I didn't develop kind of a backstory or like a who would live here kind of image in my mind, I was like, this would be a really cool house to play in because it's spacious and it's got a lot going on. And I think as you would personalize it, with Sims that are collecting things, and I left a space on the left side of the house where you could fit in the garden, like this house could really come to life and not just be, because right now I imagine it as a staged house, if that makes sense. And I think that's what I'm going to do as I continue to renovate the houses for all the EA lots. Gosh, that's a scary thought. Ugh. And so I'm going to try to do them as staged houses. And if you don't know what that means, that's when a house is up for sale and a realtor is selling it to you. Sometimes they will stage the house, which means they bring in all their nice furniture and they make the house look like people are living in there. Quotes, look like people are living there. And that's supposed to make people want to buy the house more. And I mean, I guess if that works for you. And also with staging, if you really like the furniture they put in there, you can buy it when you buy the house. And that's kind of how The Sims works, is you can buy it furnished or unfurnished. So there's that. Also, obviously houses that have stories like the Goth House and the Land Grab Mansion and those kinds of things, they have a story because they belong to those Sims. But other than that, I'm going to do kind of a staged housing kind of thing with not as much clutter and not as much extraneous stuff. They'll still be fully decorated and but it'll be like this, except for unless I'm feeling like something. I don't know. And I also want to give some makeovers to the Sims that will live in the house. So when I do houses like the Goth House and Land Grab Mansion, you can expect 2 parts from those because I'll renovate the house and then I will give the family a makeover. And my plan as it stands currently is I will only use materials for the builds and the Sims that are available in the pack, I guess, that they belong to. So none of these houses, and it pains me to say this, none of these houses will contain stuff from stuff packs. And that's because when I finish the save in what is probably the very distant future, I want it to be so if you only have base game, then all the base game builds will be complete. It won't be like you add the save, you open a house, and you're like, some things have been removed because you don't have these game packs kind of thing. And like half your Sims are naked. So in like Oasis Springs and Willow Creek and maybe Newcrest. Newcrest might be the one place where I branch out and put in my stuff pack builds because it's a completely empty world. So, you know. And then you'll still have the houses intact. So you could do them like Newcrest unfurnished if you wanted to. But anyway, so they would only be base game. And then if you like have cats and dogs, then you'd open the save and cats and dogs lot would only use cats and dogs items and base game items. And like the same thing, city living would only use city living and base game items. So no matter what your combination of games is, because of games and DLCs and whatnot, I know everyone has a different amount of The Sims. Some people have the whole game. Some people have just the base game, which I get because I was just base game for a very long time, and I'm still missing a lot of stuff packs. So it'll also make it easier to organize the builds, and yeah. And there might be some videos in the future where I go back because I do have some lots that I already renovated. Like I renovated the Crick Cabana to the Cute Cabana, and I renovated the Daisy Hovel into like a family house. If you watch my 100 Rescue Challenge, you've probably seen a lot of these builds. And so I don't know if I'll re-renovate the original house or if I'll renovate my renovation to match to fit into the save. Because right now the version I have in my main save of the Cute Cabana has a laundry room in it. And obviously that's a stuff pack. And then, maybe in the future, what I'll do is first I want to do a save that is like I just outlined. It'll only be that pack and base game so that like no matter what you have going on, you can download the save and what you have will load in and what you don't will just drop off, that kind of thing. And then after that, I guess if I manage to complete that, I will do something where it's just kind of a free-for-all and it's a complete game save. And I'll just put in all of my favorite builds, like the Fairy Tale Escape and the Mermaid House or the Mermaid Lagoon and all those good things. And things that use a lot of packs, like landscaped luxury and that kind of stuff. But until then, we'll be working on this. And I don't know how often I'm going to post these renovation videos because, like I said, it took a long time and a lot longer than I expected for a renovation. It was mostly because it took a long time to figure out how I wanted to do the roof. Roofing is not my strongest suit. I feel like decorating the houses is usually I'm good at that. I've got that. I've got the decorating down most of the time. And if not, I can usually look up and learn about a style of decorating and be like, oh yeah, I can do that in The Sims. But roofing freaking sucks. I see people's builds all the time and I'm like, how do they picture the roof like that? I just see the roofs in triangles and occasionally a hexagon, but I can never get the hexagonal, octagonal, whatever pentagonal roofs to work. I just can't figure them out. And layered roofing, it never even crosses my mind. Layered roofing is simple, but it never crosses my mind to layer roofs. And I've downloaded houses and builds and things where they've built in structures, so it's like an empty room space thing, just to support and justify a roof on the outside of the house or the build. And I'm like, well, I would never think of that. I don't even, most of the time, think of putting in empty, liminal spaces in the builds to just change up room shapes and add things. What? I need a roofing course, obviously. Or I just need to start looking at inspiration with more complicated roofs and just go from there. And then one day I'll be the roofing queen and you guys won't know what to do. Basically. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this build. It was fun, I guess, except when I realized I lost that last hour of footage, I was kind of cheesed. But I think overall this is a fun build because I don't imagine as a starter build, obviously it costs over 100,000 simoleons. But I definitely see it as the second house, you move into that little neighborhood in Newcrest and then you make your monies and you move and you go here. Or I guess you could kick the goths out of their house if you're really feeling that dark spooky vibe. But, you know, oh my gosh, I just realized the hardest build to renovate will 100% be, and maybe in the future I'll change my mind, it'll be Vlad's estate. The thing is huge. If you don't have vampires, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But Vlad's estate, I think it's 2 or 3 stories tall. And it also has this creepy basement with coffins and dungeons and all that good stuff. And it's massive. And Victorian decor and everything. Oh my gosh. We'll put that one for last. Ooh. And then I also want to do some things where I renovate the little spaces, like that park right next to this house. I could renovate that. And then like the get to work venues and all that good stuff. So, you know, things to do in the future. A lot of work. I was going to be like, I should make a list of how many builds there are. Like, not just lots. How many already built, like EA built houses and venues there are. And just see how many and just check them off. But that sounds like a good way to make me want to stop renovating them, because I'll just see this long list and be like, ha, no, you thought. No, not going to happen. But anyway, I don't really have anything else to say about this build. I did use a lot of that plain gray paint with the molding, and I did use a lot of accent walls, but I was feeling the accent walls in here. I imagine this house is just kind of like, you know, simple, kind of traditional family vibe. Maybe they're the family that it's someone's birthday and they're like, we'll have a pool party, but it's at their house, you know, that kind of thing. And yeah. Anyway, screenshots are about to roll through. Like I said before, it will show you a before shot of the original house, and then it'll show you an after shot for both the interior and the exterior. And they're not live screenshots like I said I was going to start, just because I didn't think that really worked with this build. Maybe when we do the Goss house or something. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!